Whoa. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hi guys, today I feel like I am getting a second bite at the apple with the launch of DANESSA MYRICKS' new Lightwork 7 Freedom palette. If you've been watching me, you know that when I reviewed her Color Fix sticks earlier this year, I had a really serious issue with them irritating the skin around my eyes. I tried and tried and tried to make them work for me because they were so beautiful. In the end, I had to just let that go. Let me just tell you, I have already done my swatches for this palette. I'm going to show you those in just a moment. And that just reinforced my belief that I'm going to be able to create the same kind of looks that you can create with the Color Fix sticks with these shadows. So I am just really excited that I get to have a piece of the DANESSA MYRICKS magic that doesn't irritate my eyes. I don't think it's going to. It could happen, but fingers crossed. I didn't have any sensation when I swatched them. So today we are going to get into all of the details of this palette. I am going to show those swatches to you, which includes sharing what they look like in full bright sunlight, and then we are going to create 2 looks for each of these mini palettes. I hope that sounds good to you, and if it does, let's get into the details of this latest release. All right, guys, we are going to do a quick and dirty rundown of the details because I feel like there are a lot of cool things about this palette that you could actually go find on DANESSA's website. And I'm assuming what you really want to get to are the swatches and also what the experience is and what skill level is needed to build amazing looks with these shades. So, very quickly, this is the Lightwork 7 Freedom palette. It is, I believe, only the second one that has been in this format. By that, I mean with this system where you can pop out each of these mini palettes, replace it with other mini palettes that are a part of this same system, such as the Mini Pastel Dream palette. And that just pops right in. And then you can also pop out the individual shadows to make any of these mini palettes a custom palette. You are ready to take this bad boy on the go. You just take whichever mini palette you want, pop on the mirror that lives on the outside cover, and then you've got this great little pouch that comes with your purchase that you can put it in to protect it. Whew. That was a lot of detail, right? Now, this palette retails for $128, which I think is a pretty fabulous price if you put this upside a mothership. If you have a lot of these shades that are high impact and shimmery or more sort of a chunky glitter, you have to ask yourself, how much of that shadow am I really going to use over time? Because you really don't need a lot to get the effect that you want. I would rather have 18 shades with smaller pan sizes and more choice than the 10 shades, I think, in a mothership. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking right now. We haven't fully gotten into this, so we'll see. Before we go any further, I have to just point out the obvious, which is that I'm a little bit hoarse. I've been under the weather for several days now. I am probably going to have a little bit of trouble projecting in today's video because I just did not want to wait to get this up. With that said, let's go ahead and get into those swatches. All right, let's get into swatching the first of the 3 mini palettes, this very warm toned palette that has these sort of green shades and gold that feels very much of the moment and on trend. Okay, that first shade feels absolutely unbelievable. So here is what those first 4 shades look like. We have Golden Child, Warmth, Sand. This last one of the 4 is Enchanted. Okay, let's get these last 2 on. We have Rooted, Mother Earth. So here are our first set of swatches. This first shade here feels like silk, like airy silk. In the pan, it's interesting. It just looks like a bluish white, and then it swatches this amazing gold color. This one also is just unbelievable. It reminds me of like a snake skin. And then this one, the color shift on here, can you see that? Very DANESSA MYRICKS, but it was a little bit, I don't know if crumbly is the right word. It sort of had little balls in it when I swatched it. Let's see if this one does it too. No, these must be different formulas. Okay, now we're up with our second mini palette. This first shade feels a lot like the first shade in the last palette. This one's chunkier for sure. I cannot believe how soft they are, guys. Here is what those first 4 look like in this palette. We have Love Potion, Wish, Guiding Light, oh my goodness, Spellbound. Trying to be careful. This one is also very, very crumbly feeling. So there are those 2 shades. This one is Toasted. We have Open Heart. Let me kind of smooth these down a little bit as well. These also kind of got little balls in them is the best way that I know to describe it. It's almost like the texture is just so creamy and loose that if you pick up too much, you guys look at that. Do you see that? I mean, that is where I wiped off of my arm, okay? That says something about the amount of pigment you need when you pick these up, which is not much. So let's do this experiment again. So I've already swatched, I've wiped them out some, and now you can see nothing up my sleeve. Let's wipe this one down and see how much pigment is picked up on my finger. Yeah. Let's try the next one. That is nuts. Let's see what happens here. Never thought I would be doing like reverse swatches, but here we are. I mean, come on. Come on. So there we've got set 1 and set 2, and I don't know how I'm going to fit set 3 on the same arm, but I'm going to find a way to do it. Let's get the arm sleeve up here. I feel like I'm about to give blood. So we have our last color story here, which is this beautiful blue. Anybody else immediately think of Pat McGrath, Mothership 1, when you saw this shade? And oddly enough, this shade is called Mother's Love. Is that a nod from one makeup artist to another? I don't know. Okay, so there are those first 4 shades. We have Northern Lights, Dreamer, Magic Moon, Mother's Love. Let's build up that gray just a little bit. Sort of crossed over a little bit into one of the other ones. And our last 2 shades. Here are those last 2 shades. Wasn't able to pick up a lot because I can't hold the palette, but this one is Grounded. And then this one is Star Power. All right, so there is our total color story. I cannot wait to dive in and start building some looks, but first I'm going to take you outside so we can see these swatches in natural sunlight. All right, mini palette number 1 is on deck. I have to admit, this may be the mini palette that I am most excited to play with, even though I am a purple girl, okay? I love purple eyeshadow, but This year, I've just really gotten into these kind of color stories. Let's build 2 looks with this palette. I have already done all of my other makeup. I did prime my eyes. I am going to start off this look grabbing a Refer 16 and this shade here. Oh, there's a trapped cat. Okay, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Okay, let's see how this little matte does. Hold on, creasing. Baby, what is it, little? Little? Oh, sweetheart. Okay, okay. Just gonna start off running this through the crease to create a nice soft transition here. And I'd say that we accomplished that pretty quickly. Let's start to deepen that up just a touch. I'm just dipping into the same shade here. I have to use what I am going to call the union of the snake shade right here. If you're a Duran Duran fan, you know. I am going to go and put that in the center of the lid and build around that. I wish I had showed how much I swirled, but I really don't feel like I swirled that much. And you can see the intensity of the pigment that you are able to get with a very, very small amount of product. I'd be careful about how much you pick up simply because these are so intensely pigmented. I am going to go ahead and grab this little number, which is going to shift gold, which is so weird and fabulous. Let's go ahead and grab, let's see, this is a Refer 01 Mini, and I'm going to pick up some of this deepest shade here, put that in the outer corner and sort of blend that into this other shade. Deepen up into the crease a little bit. There's no denying that Danessa knows how to put colors together. Not only is she incredibly innovative in her packaging, clearly like a wizard in terms of the different finishes that she's able to create, but God, she just knows how to curate color stories. Because I am really, really, really loving this particular tone of brown with that shimmer shade that is in the middle. We are going to leave that right there. And now I am dying to do essentially the same look over here, but with that shade that looks, I don't know, more sort of purplish green. I want to see how different they look on the eyes. So second verse, same as the first, okay? Picking up some of the color sand, running that gently through the crease. Now we are going to pick up some of this. Oh, did you see a chunk fall? I hope you saw the chunk fall. I was about to say I'm being very, very, very careful. And still I was not careful. Another chunk just fell. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ooh, that one landed on the face. Okay, we'll do cleanup in a minute. I kind of want to run this one all the way out because that's a pretty deep shade. Now I'm like changing my plans. Hold please. Off you go. I'm picking up more because I want to go right here all the way to the outer corner. See what happens if I spread this forward. Let me grab some liner now. This is a Sarah Creel eyeliner. I think it's an Endless Taupe. Just want to get a better sense of what might be missing from this look. Okay, so we've got these two shades at the top. Hold on, we'll swatch into both of these. So there's what those look like. I'm kind of inclined to go here. I could go inner corner, but I think I'm gonna go down the middle. Adding that shade definitely made them look more similar. This is a very sort of gold look, but I do like both of these. I am just going to grab some of this darkest brown and add that along the lash line. Now, if I were doing a crossover look across the mini palettes, I would probably go in with the black. I am going to put on some mascara and I will be right back for us to talk about these two looks. All right, I just whacked some mascara on, literally. I didn't even curl my lashes, but here we are with these first two looks, which unfortunately came out looking very similar because of my last minute poor choice, I think, to add this shade on top over here. I definitely liked it better before I did that. One thing I want to do is add some of this brown along the lower lash line. Even though I added some liner, I just feel like, especially for this one, that it would be good to add a little bit of that warmth to the bottom lash line. So let's do that and hope and pray that I do not end up with fallout everywhere. Let's also grab a little bit more of this deep brown. I am bringing this brown up a little bit higher and then flipping this 01 Mini on its side so that I have the width of the brush to sort of blend that upward. I don't know if that made much of a difference, but anyway, here we are with our first two looks. I'm just excited to keep playing with this one, but we have more looks to go. I am going to go ahead and try to gently remove this, and we are going to move on to our little miniature purple palette. All right, we are primed and ready, and I think what I'm going to do, guys, to make sure that I don't fall into the same trap as last time, is I'm going to swatch a couple of these again. In particular, these two purple shades, these two here. This is what we've got. Kind of can't tell if this is just a difference in texture, which of course is going to change the way it looks on the eye, or if it's, oh yeah, yeah, it's not just the texture. We've got a duochrome here. This one might be a little shifty, but not as much as this one. Let's do the other two shimmers too. I'm doing this one here and this one here. That's what those look like. Wow, God. Sorry. This is the first one we did at the top, which looks very sort of pinkish, right? Such a beautiful shade. Y'all, I mean, liquid gold. We are going to use the same shadow for both of these for our transition, and of course that doesn't really leave us with something for deepening up the outer corner. And one other thing, I am going to try to use some of these shades with brushes, even though I would normally do a finger application, because I know that some people don't like to use their fingers to apply eyeshadow, and I want you to see the difference that makes. Dipping in here with a Rephr 16. Down. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that gold shade, which is this one here. And I am going to grab a Refer 21, I believe. Yes, Refer 21, which is a synthetic haired brush. Synthetic haired brushes are typically better at picking up shimmery shades. So let's see if you can even do this. And again, I just have eyeshadow primer on, no glitter glue. I am worried that this is going to fall out all over the place since it's not on my finger. But we need to know. Okay, yes, we are falling out. And it certainly is not producing the same effect that the swatch did on my hand. Let's keep going with this. Because you may want to do a more sort of subtle shimmery look, and a brush would certainly be a way to achieve that. I'm going to grab another brush. This is a part of the KJH Spectrum collection, and I'm going to grab this shade up here. Oh, that is what that looks like. I love this shade so much that I think it looked gorgeous just all over the lid by itself. This is a great, I think, one and done shade. Okay, call me crazy, but I might have to throw this in. Let's do it. I have another Refer 21. Oh. Okay, so are you going to get fallout here with a brush application? Yes, but can you do a brush application and get really high payoff? Yes, with this shade you can, which means this is probably a slightly different formula than that gold. Typically, of course, I would do my eyes first, and that means that fallout is less of a problem. Just clean it up. Although sometimes glitter is hard to get off your face. I am going to go back in with that gold and pick it up on my finger, because I think now we've seen like what the intensity is you can get with those shadows with a brush. And so I'm just going to pick some up here. And whoa, so this is one where you need to be careful about how much you pick up, because it will pick up a lot without you even realizing, I think, what you've done. Let's now grab the shade that I used on the inner corner and let's pick that up on my pinky. Oh, I love this shade. This is one of those true, just like wet effect shadows. I love that. I don't know what it looks like far away, but like close up, it is just so beautiful. I think that for now, we are going to call that one ready for a mascara touch up. And let's go ahead and do the other eye. So we want to use different shades on the other eye. God, I already used a bunch of them, didn't I? Well, we're going to use this and we're going to use this. Let's do this in the outer corner. I'm going to go ahead and do the chunky purple with a Refer 21 again. Let's see how that picks up. Oh, wait, did I do my transition? Hold, please. I can't remember. I may have. Oh, I meant to not do this. Oh, well. Did I mention I'm under the weather? Brain not functioning properly. And now again, Refer 21 with the Chunky Monkey. I'm going to call this one Chunky Monkey from here on out. Okay, so that does not look like it picked up very much. No. Nope. Maybe this isn't the best brush. Wow, that does not work. Not for me anyway. I'm going to pick some up on my finger now. I really love the way that's going on. Let's try this again. Maybe I need to smear. Sometimes you got to smear these instead of patting them on, which I think is counterintuitive, but I have noticed that. Let's go ahead and do this one in the inner corner. I'm going to just sort of wipe off my favorite inner corner brush and pick some of that up. Can't really see it on the brush because of the color, but let's see. Oh yeah, this one works well with a brush. Now let's just deepen up the outer corner if I can. I mean, it's gonna be hard to get a lot of depth here, but we're gonna go. Do these look really similar? No, I don't think they do. I think they're both really beautiful. Let me clean up a little bit and I'll be right back. Okay, I touched up the mascara on my top lashes, but before I get into the bottom, I want to do a little something to try to, I don't know, bring these looks to a more finished place. So over here, where I've got this matte brown in the outer corner, I am going to grab a pencil brush. This is a Refer 23, and I am going to run this along the lower lash line. And sort of use this brush to apply it in a more concentrated fashion here in the outer corner. I'm probably gonna have to clean up that edge, but let's see here. I think over here, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go nuts. And I am going to apply some of our Razzle Dazzle along the lower lash line. I don't know, guys. Okay, so again, this is the shadow. I don't know how well this is gonna adhere along the lower lash line. This may just turn into a huge fallout mess. But no, you can do it. You can do it. Oh. Okay, so you can do it. But you're gonna get a lot of fallout, okay? But you can actually do it. Let's add a little bit of mascara on the bottom lashes to finish this up. All right, guys, do I have a lot of glitter on my face? Yes. But we're just going to try to look past that and just sort of assess these two eye looks. I think that they're both really beautiful. I don't think they're different enough. Using one of these mini palettes alone with just this color story, I think that's possibly where you're going to land, just based on the two palettes that I've played with now. I think that, you know, using all three palettes together obviously opens up a whole new world. This is just really how I decided to approach this today. So we are now going to move on to the final mini palette, which of course is our blue one. So I am going to go off camera to take all of this off and I will be right back. All right, I had to do a full reset this time around. I just could not get it off my eyes without, I think, probably damaging the skin. So the good news is I've also removed quite a bit of glitter from my face. I am going to kind of swatch these again like we did with the last one, just so I can make a plan. But guys, before we do that, we have to do some comparisons. Wow, so this is the Danessa shade, which looks much shinier. Let's get those on my hand because that's the only way we're going to know. Yes, the DANESSA MYRICKS blue is much shinier, and this one is much deeper, like sort of has this black kind of base to it. And I am happy about that because I don't want to buy palettes that I already have. So I'm just removing the mother swatch, and now we're going to get into swatching the rest of this. Let's do these two up here first. This is one of those that feels very loosely packed, and this one is not as loosely packed. So I'm gonna have to dip back into the mothership because now I'm like, is this like this other shade in the mothership? I gotta know. Do this one. Let me swatch this gray again. There, what those two look like. We do have to see though if there is a shade in the mothership that is like this little shade right here. Probably, well, I don't know. One of these, okay. So both of these are from the mothership. The second one has a little bit more of a pink shift to it, but that first one looks really, really close. I'm gonna swatch it kind of out here to the side. Okay, this one out here is the Pat McGrath shade. I don't know on the eyes if it would make that big of a difference. I am going to lay down some of this black and then put the blue on top. Let's do it. All right, so for that, I really need more of a packing brush. So I am gonna grab this one here. This is a Refer 02. And hope and pray this doesn't go everywhere. Okay, it didn't. I did get some fallout as I started to kind of blend that out. Let me grab a true blending brush. This is a Refer 14. See how well this blends out. It is kind of sticking. Maybe that if I were using a firmer brush that it would blend a bit better. I'm applying a little more pressure now, and that is helping that blend out a little bit better. So now let's try applying this blue on top of the black. Now, when you do this with the mothership, it is stunning. This blue also has sort of a black base in the mothership, whereas this is just like, hi, I'm blue. Let's now grab some of this shade here and kind of pack that into the inner corner and sort of crossing over into our really bright blue. Whoa. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, I was about to say, if you have Mothership 1, you know, there's some similarities here, maybe that sort of detract from having this, but I'm taking it back. Okay, I'm taking it back because I don't think that I have seen the shades in Mothership 1 do this. I never thought that something would impress me more than early Pat McGrath, but this is doing it, okay? I mean, guys, are you catching that? Look at that. That's insane. That is insane. Danessa. You know what you're doing. Let's see if I've got a little bit more black on here. Sort of meet up with this. buff this out a little bit. I mean, that is nuts. I just can't get over it. I can't get over it. Wow. Okay, let's move on to our second look. I mean, what do you do now? You know? Okay, let me swatch these two again. I'm playing. Just want to see what will happen. And yes, I just decided what I'm doing. Y'all, the playing part is really important, I think. We're going with the blue again. I know. I am going to use a brush this time because I don't know that I want the same level of intensity. I have not put concealer on yet. Guys, I'm going to throw one of my Dew winged eye masks on because this I just know this is going to get out of hand. I'll sort of clean up and do concealer once we get these looks down. So this is the Dew Winged Eye Mask, which helps you build out a winged look. It's got this nice straight line there. I am using Refer 21. Again, here you really want to swipe. So, brush, a little bit more subtle effect. Something to keep in mind if you're more of a brush girl. Okay, what I'm about to do may not work, but this is why we play. And I may have gotten more blue down than I need. Kind of even that out a little bit. I am going to put on this shade on top of the blue. Kind of blending those together. I feel like it takes on almost a little bit of a gold look. It may be coming off really silver on camera. Not sure. Let's see. Maybe we want to lay some of this in the very inner corner. Let me deepen up our blue a little bit in the outer corner. Let's take this off. Let's do some blue on the lower lash line over here, because why not? This is probably not going to work on this brush. I'm like, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. All right, guys, I'm going to do some cleanup, put mascara on, and then we're going to come back to see if there's anything else we want to do to these looks and to do a full debrief. I'll be right back. All right, guys, let's talk final touches for both of these looks. In addition to adding mascara, I also did tight lining on the top and the bottom over here with one of these felt style liners. And then for this eye, I took this Victoria Beckham pencil and ran this in the waterline. So here are the final two looks, my final look of the day, which means that we are ready to talk turkey on this palette. I'm in love, okay? You know, early on, I said that I felt like this was going to allow me to capture some of that magic that I missed out on with the color fix sticks. And I definitely feel like that is what this palette delivers. I think there are so many interesting shades in here, and I like the way that these turned out. I really think I like the way every look turned out today. I'm really, really happy with this palette. I mean, you're going to get fallout with this palette. There's no doubt about that, because there are so many different finishes, so many different textures. If you decide to pick this up, I highly encourage you to just play with it, have fun with it, sort of learn the palette, because like I said, some of these shadows, they feel really different, and so they may not perform the way you think they're going to perform, but I still think they all performed beautifully. I really, really do. So I am so excited and happy that I bought this palette. I think this was a great investment, especially if she creates more for this system. I hope. Let me know if you want me to create another video where I mix and match. I create looks using different shades from different color stories. I would be really happy to do that. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it and that it helped you if you have been trying to decide if this is a good buy for you. It is $128, so quite expensive. The Sephora Savings Event is coming up, but I think these Lightwork palettes have been known to sell out, and so I think you have to decide for yourself. If you miss out on this, are you going to be okay with that because you waited for the sale? I don't think I'd wait. I think I'd get it if I were you. Again, thank you for watching. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider subscribing if you are not subscribed, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.